Welcome, welcome, welcome to the show tonight. This is Sisters United, and I am so excited about the show tonight. What's going on, Glory? What's going on? How you doing? She.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Yes, look, and y'all, listen. Our special guest tonight, Tessa Allen.
Hi.
Oh,
Thank
I
you
am
so much
so
for having me.
Look, I am so happy for you to be on the show tonight for Glory and the rest of my sisters if they get on tonight, just to meet the 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 ray of sunshine that I met some
Yeah,
years ago and got an opportunity to be on your show,
yeah.
and so tonight, before we get all into it and get into our discussions, because when we get into these discussions, we get lost. Okay,
Okay.
so just take a minute, Miss Tessa, and tell us about you. Introduce yourself to those that are
Okay.
listening.
Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for having me on this show. I love watching this show. When I watch My Gospel Soul, I'm always like teared up crying because I feel like everything you're talking about is about me. So I'm very honored to be here. I
Uh,
love you. I can't wait to see you in person. Um, but I'm just a country girl from Montgomery, Dobbin, Texas. And I started out promoting parties, and I was promoting a party for my brother who was in jail, and I ended up going to Street 93.3 to promote it. And I ended up getting hired on like that night, and it's 9 years later. I'm still host of Spotlight Radio Show, which is bizarre, crazy. Every show, every moment, it feels like it's my first time. And
yeah.
actually, this is my third time in the 9 years of getting interviewed or being a guest on someone else's show. So
Wow.
I'm gonna, it's sometimes, my nieces and nephews, they'd be like, when I'm around, even one of my nephews, he's always like, Tessa's always interviewing me, and I'm just like, I'm talking. So it's hard to turn that volume button or turn it around. So
Right.
It really,
I
it really
know.
is. I understand
Yeah.
where you're coming from because sometimes I do that to my relatives. I said, so what made you go that direction? They be looking at me like, okay,
Yes.
what
Yes,
made
I go
what
deep.
what made you start this business? How did it
Yeah.
feel to start it? I just be going in on them.
That's
But
how I am.
so Spotlight Radio. Did you ever think that you would be hosting a radio show?
Never, ever, ever. But I remember that first night I went to promote. Um, the host was saying, he was like, "Oh, she's gonna be back. She's gonna want her own show," and I heard it, but it didn't hit me
Yeah,
until like I was like, "I want to come back next week." I really like it. I never dreamed of it. I know when I was a young girl and my dad would travel, I used to like to collect autographs or
yeah.
wherever I'm at. I would always see someone famous. So the biggest thing in the industry of music was just collecting autographs for me as a young girl. Never radio. I never dreamed of it.
Yeah. So who did you meet? Tell us who have you met so far during your career or before?
Oh my goodness, so many people. I am one also. I used to not want to do phone interviews because I'm a big comedian fanatic. So I always thought people were impersonating. So I never wanted to do that.
Yeah.
But I've met Mimi Faust, Fiend, from No Limit Soldiers. I can't
Mm.
think of now I'm going blank. I can't think of the guy's name, but oh goodness, the Indian guy with the baby Shamu with the movie way back in the days. I can't even remember his name now. A couple of people from Guiding Lights.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's been so many. Yuck Mouth. I went to a Looney concert when I was in college, and I still have the paper, the autograph that he had for me, and I was able to do an interview with him, and I showed him that. It was crazy. But I've met so many people, and I like to meet people that's when they're first starting out, in the business, whatever it is. So I like to meet those, or be their first person they interview with is me. I like
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your favorite interview?
My favorite interview. I would say Nao. She's the Canadian plus size model. Her picture was going viral about 3, 4 years ago.
Mhm.
And she really can't speak English that good. Now she can. And I was the first person she did an interview with. And like when her pictures were going viral, I sent the message on Facebook and she messaged me back. And it was, I love that interview because it was so real and it was her first one. And I mean, everywhere of all the interviews I've done, she always mentions my name, even if it's just like a photo shoot
Yeah.
or I mean, like I might catch some videos and she's saying my name, you know. It's crazy. But yeah, that was one of my favorite interviews.
It's so awesome to hear another radio personality
Hmm.
excitement about interviewing the different people you meet. You'd be surprised at the
Yeah.
people that you meet and that will talk to you. When I first
Yeah.
started out, I was so nervous to ask people to be on my show. I was like, oh my God, I had to rehearse with myself. When you first when you first start inviting people on your show, how was
Mhm.
I mean, did you have that same type of
Oh my goodness. Like when I first started, it was kind of rocky because I would hit people up and I got a lot of no's.
mhm,
Mhm.
And, it really hurt my spirit. And even now, like I've been emailing for Jamie Foxx for so long and they still tell me no and I still send it. But
yeah,
in the beginning, it was kind of rocky because I didn't know how to. I am one to talk, but to make up those nice emails and nice letters to send out, that wasn't me. So it would be 3, 4 sentences, and I got a lot of no's for that. And to this day, I still do the same thing I've always been doing, you know. But it was kind of rocky sending out those emails to get people, and it was a lot harder. Now I can say due to COVID, is virtual. Now everybody is like, okay, okay, if I have time, I will.
yeah, yeah. It has opened up a lot. It's
Mhm.
kind of like a couple of years ago when I woke up to on Instagram a message from Melba Moore. At first, I thought it was a joke, and she's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
she was like, "Well, if you don't believe me, just talk to my manager." She was really trying to help me understand it was her, but it
Yes.
it it it, it does so much for you now as a black woman because I got to go here,
Okay.
and Glory may have some questions as well. Uh,
Okay.
but as a black woman in the industry that you're in, because the music industry is, oh my God,
Yes.
as a woman, how have you been faring in it as far as not fitting in, but just making your presence known, in the
Woo. Yeah, it's been kind of rocky. Um, I can say now more so it's way better now. My
yeah,
first couple of years, I was like thrown in the water and like learn how to swim. So I got a lot of no's. I can say that in the beginning, people were hitting me up and was like, "Why don't you have women on your show? It's always men." And it was easier for a man to come than a woman.
true,
And and then I started doing like a doula. She was able to come. I started reaching out to different other women
yeah,
outside of the music industry. Shout out to Surreal. I had some ones that came day one and was consistent, but it was very few. Just Brittany Surreal. They came several times. They're
yeah,
on my list, but a lot, especially a lot of Houston um, artists, female wise, it was real hard for me to get them in. Shout out to
yeah,
Queen. They came and they might book and then recancel right at like that day.
yeah,
But now it's much better. But in the beginning it was kind of rough, and then I dealt with a lot of with the men, wanting a relationship with me. It's like no, 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 no.
no, that's not,
I fell for one, and I've never said his name, but
yeah,
I will get it out. I think I need to release it, but I
yeah.
did.
One day, like the perfect moment for you to release it,
Yeah,
it's gonna
yeah.
happen. And you don't even realize that it happened.
Yeah, I think I will now. It was Gangsta Nip. He came to my show, and I mean, we started dating for like maybe 2, 3 years, and I wouldn't, go there because I'm like, I done had sex and been there, did that, done that, back in the day. So,
Hey, yeah,
hey, let's get married. I'm a serious. thing. So
Yeah.
and I booked him for a show one night, a concert in my hometown, and I seen him do some things I didn't like, and it was over after that. And then next thing you know, he was like, bashing me, bashing me, bashing me. So now my guard is like up. So I keep everything professional. I don't even be persuaded, And like if a lot of people be like, oh, like my favorite rapper, everybody was like, oh, she got a thing. No, my favorite rapper is my favorite rapper. I keep it professional, but yeah,
Yeah.
it gets kind of crazy with the men
Yeah. Yeah.
on the
The
radio, but.
I I know what you mean about, and y'all know this Sisters United, so we get into it.
Mhm.
Point out the fact that it was so difficult. I went through that too. It was difficult to get women on the show. It was today. I'm just being real. It's
Yeah,
not as hard, but it's still a lot you have to go through to get a woman on the show. You know.
absolutely. I don't know why, but it
Hmm.
is. I haven't had any comedians on, and I just booked Melanie Comaracho,
Hmm.
um, the female comedian, Def Jam. She's the only comic that has the most tours out of all comedians.
Hmm.
And talking with her manager, he said, because I was like, oh, I want to do an interview with her for like 15, 20 minutes. He's like, I'm going to
Uh-huh.
call you back. He called me back. He's like, 14 minutes. Then he was like, how many followers do you have? And I was like, nobody never asked me how many followers do I have,
Yeah.
you know? So
Yeah.
it was, I'm talking about, I pulled teeth and everything. I got a leg cut off, but I made it. But I have no idea why it's so hard. So now I try to, go in breast cancer awareness month. I have to have a theme or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Something has to be for sure intact for that female to say, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Mhm.
That's true. The Gloria, you have any questions?
I
No.
I don't really have any questions, but I do want to encourage you guys because I know both of y'all are in this little talk show. I just want to say keep going. Like I feel like somebody is watching, and I mean I feel like the way you keep sending email to get people on the show, I think like somebody's gonna the right person, the email's gonna get in the hands of the right person. So I
Right.
just feel like just keep going. I mean, only God knows how far this thing can go,
Absolutely.
and as long as consistent, it's gonna happen.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes.
Well, okay, let's okay, Spotlight Radio. Yeah, you know I keep up. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, and I am
Yes.
seeing these interviews. I'm keeping up with posts. I remember when you interviewed me and I was
Uh-huh.
like, how do y'all repost? And
Yeah.
and and she was like, oh, and the wall, I signed the wall, everything. I was
Yes.
just so excited, y'all was. But I got the opportunity to share my personal testimony on your show and my music. So
Yes.
talk about, like, get in depth about what is Spotlight Radio. What is
Oh
it?
my goodness. Spotlight Radio. I didn't come up with the name. Miss Fire came up with the name because she was like, because I co-hosted for 6 months, and when it came time for me to do my own show, I was like, I don't know what to name it. I don't know about logo, just anything. And she was like, I spotlight people. So that's how the name came out. And I was like, I didn't know I'd do that. Like my brother was like, hey, you're a promoter. I was like, am I a promoter? Early on, I started Googling, like, what is a promoter? I didn't even know I was this promoter.
Yeah.
So, but Spotlight Radio to me and what it does for me, at first, it was all about music. But now it's more about the people, the person. Like the interview I just did last Thursday. I didn't want to ask anything he's been asked before. I try not to ask something that someone's been asked before. So I try to keep it personal. I keep it fun. 9 times out of 10 now, a lot of people, I'll be like, I got 1 minute left. I got to get off. They'd be like, no, wait, wait, wait. It's kind of like a connection. And then once I do an interview with someone, it's pretty much like lifelong. Like I'm going to follow you forever. I'm going to, see what you're doing, encourage you if I can, repost, reshare. It's kind of like it's kind of like my best friend. I can say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's really, even I took a month off this past August, took a whole month off because I needed just a break of, no interviews because I started to like ask the same questions. Even my viewers was like, you asked that last time. So I had to, out of 9 years, I never took a break. So I just
Yeah.
took a break and I'm refreshed now. So it feels so good.
Awesome. Now
Yes.
I want to dig into don't delay. Cause I
Yes.
want I want everybody to have a real clear understanding of what when you see that big red, don't delay.
Yes.
I want you to
Woo!
know what it's really, really about. Talk to us
Oh,
about
Dr. Lay, let me tell you, that is so deep for me. Before I get all the way into it, I can't say I'm gonna tell everybody what happened, but when the thing happened, I have never went to my pastor and asked for help.
mm,
I needed help out of this situation. So I'm being in radio. My cousin introduced me to a guy, and he's Joe Tech's, the legendary Joe Tech's son.
mm-hmm,
And we live like literally 30 miles away from each other. And we talked on the phone. We met like in June and we talked for a whole month. We met in person for the first time in July, and then a month passed. And August 21st, on my
mm-hmm.
5 year anniversary at the radio station, that was our second time meeting each other in person. He asked me to marry him. And I said, yeah. He asked me the night of my 5 year anniversary at the radio station. And when
Uh-huh.
he asked me to after he asked me to marry him, he said, "If this radio thing is not here, I'll still be here." Remind you, he's a legendary singer son, and he wants to rap and be in the business. And when
Right.
he said, "If this radio is not here, I'll still be here," and right then and there, in my head, the red flags and everything was going off.
Start going
I
on.
totally, I totally ignored it. So when we left the station, and he went into the store because and one thing what made me say yes after only seeing him 2 times from June to August, because he was like, oh, we're gonna wait till we get married to have sex. He was telling me everything I wanted to hear.
Here.
And um he went into the store that night, and I called my cousin. I said, this is not gonna work, I know it. But she was like, all right, blah 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 blah, get out. I hung up the phone. In October, he was on the road and we were talking, and I was going to an event for my favorite rapper. I said Zaddy. I still have the letter that he came and put at my mom's house, and he called it off.
Mm.
But, and I was happy that he did. He called off the engagement. But before that, I was like, you know what? As a woman, I'm just like, hey, let's do something by now. And so my hand kind of went there, and he was like, don't touch me there. And I was like, why not? And boom. I don't know the exact word for it now because it's kind of like blocked, but he was born with the male and the female organ down below.
Mm-hmm.
So
From
I
from
seen it.
orthodox.
Yes. And he showed it to me, and I was like, I was hugging him, and I was like, we'll get through this. But the whole time I'm hugging him, I'm just like, no. So, and it freaked me out. And like, I like for a whole year straight, I had like serious prayer, and I overcame it. And then I was like, you know what? I delayed. I would have caused myself so much less stress if I hadn't delayed that night. And that's
Mm.
what came up with don't delay. Like, soon as you feel that feeling of something is going wrong or something's not right, 9 times out of 10, the good Lord is telling you, hey, don't do it. So that's where don't delay came about, from that situation, because I
Wow.
delayed him, and that delay caused me a whole year of which I needed, that extra prayer, but I didn't, it was kind of spooky to me. Like, I would be driving to work, and I'll think about it. I might cry, or I just feel like I'm such much stronger than this. It had me in a bad place for a whole year. So that's what don't delay came. And so
Yeah.
now don't delay, like, in Montgomery County, people that does community service, they'll send them to me. Usually before COVID, I would meet them, and I have some girls like meet people that's doing community service at the library, our local library, and we do some things about, what what happened to them to make them have to do community service? Where did you not delay it?
Right.
So yeah, it's been pretty fun. It's been a joyful
That
ride.
and that's such a powerful testimony what you just said, because a lot of people a lot of people ignore the red flags, or they when they when they hear that voice saying this is not for
Yeah.
you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and then and it's like not like they hear it one time. It's like
Right.
over and over again, and they still, so that's powerful. That's
Yes. As
powerful.
soon as I heard it, I was like, huh? And I'm so vocal, I'm so voiceful. My family will tell you, like, she'll say anything, and I caught myself
Mhm.
just to be nice, and ooh, not no more.
Huh.
Not,
Huh.
not anymore. Even like at work, I had a coworker. He was like, Miss Tessa, he was like, are you single? I was like, yeah, but you're not my type, honey. Keep going. I instantly. He's a good looking brother, but I hurry up. Nope.
Real quick.
Yeah, I
Real
didn't hear that
quick.
voice in my head.
And I think
Yeah.
I think that God has given us that intuition just as women, and
Woo.
we really really just overlook it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then when we end up in those positions, like you say, you needed prayer, but but
Yeah.
you know, but Gloria, you want to say anything on this? On
I just want to know, like, in that situation, like, how did that make you feel as far as did you care about? I know, okay, so I guess what I'm trying to say is, um, why did you stop dating him? Like, was it because of that issue?
No, no. I was going to a concert that night to see my favorite rapper.
Uh
And I was like, and me and him was on the phone. Me and my fiance was on the phone. And he was like, where you going? I was like, I'm going to go see Zaddy. And I never called my favorite rapper Zaddy, but it came out.
yeah,
And on this letter, I got to print it out, but I got it in my email that he typed up to kill the engagement. He titled it my favorite rapper's name and why I shouldn't have called him Zaddy. And that was the reason why he broke up with me. Called off the engagement. It wasn't because of his,
yeah,
how
situation,
he
yeah.
was born. It wasn't. He had nothing about that. It was all about because of the favorite rapper. Remind you, his daddy's legendary rapper artist. So he wants to be. So he really took into. He didn't want nobody to be my favorite but him.
But him,
And I was like,
Or was it, or was it the fact that he needed that excuse to let it go?
there we go. There we go. There we go.
You
I
know
want
what
to
I'm
say
saying? Like
me
maybe
too.
it
Yeah.
wasn't so much of the zaddy thing. Maybe he was
I
just
hope
probably
not.
feeling a certain guilt about
Yes.
his issue,
To where
and
he used that. Yes,
he
I'm
needed to
quite
exit.
sure. Absolutely,
Yeah.
I'm quite sure that's it. He wrote a two-page letter about my favorite rapper, and then shortly after, I went live on Facebook, or I put it on Facebook, and I had like six of his ex-girlfriends. Like when one person shared and it just got all over, like six of his ex-girlfriends told me they were he asked them to marry him like 2 weeks later. It was the exact same thing.
Oh,
No sex till we get married. And that's what, hey, I've been there, did that, done that. So I'm like, yeah, we can even wait a
So
couple more years. So
I think,
that
okay,
was, so I
I
felt like he was the serial,
yeah,
the serial proposal guy.
yeah,
yeah.
and some issues within himself that he needed to deal with,
Hmm.
and God rescued you
Yeah.
out of that situation, because, like I say, when our intuition, discernment, and all that kick in, or like they say, our spidey senses
Hmm.
kick in, that's really just God saying, here's a door, let me get you. Here's a door, I'm getting you out of this. But
Yes. Yes.
I would love for to get more information on you. Oh, you want to say some, Glory? Go ahead.
No, no. I was just there thinking like this man asking people to marry him after 2 weeks of dating.
Yeah.
Like, was that a way of keeping them like bound to him until like I'm gonna marry you? For
Yeah.
some type of security. But I guess when we get a chance to see each other, or if you feel like you're ready to be
Mhm.
intimate, I gotta find a way to exit. I don't know. It just
Yeah,
I think
I
that's
felt yeah,
weird.
yeah. I really felt like if I would have married him and then that came about, I guess he would have said, "Oh, she's not going to divorce me. She's not going to leave." Maybe, but
Yeah.
yeah,
it was
yeah,
deep. Like,
yeah.
oh,
And
it was crazy. And to this day, I haven't spoke to him. He blocked me from like everything, but I realized I was like the person who I am. I was like, well, maybe I was put into his life to kind of help him. I probably right now, if he wouldn't have asked me to marry him, I would have probably been a good best friend for him,
Right.
exactly, yeah,
you know.
yeah,
But he was so insecure and just like boom and
yeah.
vacated the premises.
And that's what I was gonna say. That insecurity and that wanting
Hmm.
to be accepted, but it was kind of manipulative what he does in that.
Yeah.
But like I say, just to make sure we um, keep it in perspective for this show about the ladies, it's just
Yes.
amazing how God will always open up a door, give us a way of escape.
Yes.
And I think that your program is doing that, giving a way of of escape when you
Hmm.
are able to sit and help them identify the different. Because we talk about that a lot on the show. Getting to the root. What
Hmm.
is the
Yeah.
root? What what caused you? You know what happened that caused you to go this
Hmm.
direction? You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I think that God is going to use you to do great and marvelous things. And hopefully, Sisters United can get in on it, and help where we
Absolutely.
can.
Thank you. Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
not well. We already talking about self, and we've been
Hmm.
talking about self care for
Hmm.
weeks. Loving you, taking care of you. We don't want to say this. Put you first. A lot of people say, no, we
Hmm.
can't be selfish. You can't. No, 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 no. If you don't take care of you, you will not be good for other people. So
Okay.
let's dive into that. You said that your uh, family has been telling you it's time for a
Yes.
break. It's time for a
Yes.
break. Talk to us a little bit
Oh my
about how
goodness.
you feel
Seriously.
about self care.
Oh my goodness. Um, and it's crazy how I am the one to be like, hey, mama, make sure you take your bath and be in bed by 10:30. I'm the one like I'm the doctor, I'm the therapist, I'm everything.
Hmm.
So and I work one job on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday nights.
Mhm.
Fridays and Mondays I'm working doubles.
Mhm.
One job, I get off at 6:30 in the morning, Sunday morning, go straight
Wow.
to my other job to 6:30 that night, come home for 4 hours, and then go back to my night job, then back to my day job, and then I'm home Tuesday nights. I get to stay at home. Wednesday nights and Thursday nights I stay at home, but I
Mhm.
work that day. And my uncle, he had a stroke in
Mhm.
March. So ever since May 2nd, Monday through Friday, I'm there with him early in the morning till that evening, until my
Wow.
cousins get home, to his kids to stay with him.
Mhm.
So that's just an automatic thing for me, to help family and then, do my normal job. But lately, I might be a little snappy here and there, seem like I might need a cigarette or something,
Yeah.
but I'm
Yeah.
not noticing it. I'm just thinking it's myself, like trying to keep everything. But when I started falling asleep at work, um, simple little things I'm forgetting to
Yeah.
do at work. And so everybody's like, hey, Tessa, and one of my cousins, and it felt bad. I was feeling bad. I'm not going to lie. She was like, Tessa, you need to take time out for yourself. When do you have time for yourself? And I was really sitting there listening, but I was ignoring it because I'm like, I'm still going to do this because this is what I need to do,
Too.
you
Yeah.
know? So Friday, I did take out my phone. Even today, no, last night, I pulled
Mhm.
out my phone. I was like, "Hey, I need to leave by such and such time tomorrow, such and such time this day. I need to be off this day." And in 9 years of my job, I not nine, 11 years of my first job, I have never taken off except this winter storm and then this past rain this year.
Oh no.
I'll be late, but I'm not gonna take off.
Oh
So
my Lord.
I just pick random dates out of this month. At the end of this month, I pick some random dates out of November and
Mhm.
December to just take off and not
Wow.
feel guilty about it. Yeah. Just now, today.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
I
Oh
get
my
my
Lord.
but it did get to a point though this past week when I knew I had to like go ahead and cut everything off because even at night when it's time for me to go to sleep, I couldn't sleep. I'm just sitting there like,
Yeah, your
take a
mindset.
shower. Yeah, like I want to go to sleep. Then I would
Yeah.
have to just take off my gown and sleep in my panties and bra and get it ice cold, and I would fall asleep. Yeah, I was like, I shouldn't have to go
Yeah.
through all this to go to sleep.
But see,
Tired as I am.
and that's crazy because when you are a person that's gifted and God has given you so much to do, it's hard to turn it off. It really
Yes.
is. And
Hmm.
and you were talking about being snappy. I know my husband be telling me, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Ain't nothing wrong with me. Ain't
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
wrong with me." But lack of sleep, cause I started my magazine some years ago, and I used to have people that write for the magazine. Then people start dropping off and falling off. So guess who got to write for the magazine? I have to write. So I'm
Yeah.
in. Look, when everything shut down, I'm in the bed. He knocked out, snoring, and I'm just posting, trying to keep stuff
Hmm.
going. And we think, okay, I'm a superwoman. I got this. I can do this. I got this. But like you say, you start forgetting. I go in one room, forget what I came in here for. Somebody called me and say, you didn't send me this. You forgot to send me this. I had to stop
Yes.
doing some stuff. I had to cut some stuff off. I
Yeah.
really, really did. And now I like even now I paint to deal with
Anxiety.
to well, not anxiety, but just to make sure that I'm doing something that I like to do for myself. It has no
But
rhyme or reason for me doing it. It has no purpose. So, and it also relaxes me. Like you saying, anxiety, it takes care of that. Uh, it keeps me as myself because when you're around so many different people in so many different areas, you pick up a whole bunch of stuff. So you need a way to detox. You need a way to detox from attitudes, from meetings, from disappointments, from people abandoning you. You need that time to detox. So
yes.
that's a major part of self-care.
Yes. And matter of fact, I picked up a crochet needle. I taught myself to crochet when I was like fourth grade. Thank goodness
Hmm.
my great niece was born. So I made her a blanket. Then I started working on another blanket. Then my mom called me. She said, "Oh, my stepdad, he got a sewing box and some yarn from a garage sale. So they was like, whatever it is, like they know sewing is my thing. So everybody's like bringing me yarn, bringing me thread, bringing me material. So I've been crocheting a lot, and I was like, I miss it. I felt like I never had time for it. So now I've been doing a lot of that, to kind
Yeah,
of keep me chill, because I'll
yeah.
go there.
You got to make time. You have to make time. I'm telling you, I almost lost it. It'll bring you into a place of break where you could have a mental breakdown. You be exhausted. And one of the main things you have to do is make sure everybody knows this is my time for myself.
Mhm.
And make sure the people that surround you respect that time. If they want, look, you say, hey, if you want me to be the best for you, since you want so much from me,
That's
I
what I'm
need
working on
this.
right now.
I need this time right here for myself, and
Yes.
I need you to respect it.
Mhm.
So
Now that's one thing I'm really working on, because I work nights, sleep days, and like my aunts and uncles, like they'll call and like get mad if I don't answer. And I'm just like, should I put it on Facebook? I am asleep. Like, don't call me at this time. I want to post my schedule so people know exactly when to contact me. You know. So now I have just Friday. I've been powering this bad boy off. I
you
power it
got,
off. Never power it off. If I wish we could take the batteries out of it,
but
but I'll
now they
power
done
it off.
made it where you can't take the battery out the
I know,
phone.
because sometimes I'll be like, I thought I turned my phone off. But yeah, so
So Gloria, what do you do? What do you do to step away, get yourself back together, or what do you do?
I worship.
Amen. Amen.
I just get into like some soft, soothing music, and I just listen to certain songs that build my strength. I mean, I don't, cause I have my moments where I just need a moment, and
Yeah.
I love to walk. Like I really, man, I haven't walked in so long. I guess I'm gonna get back doing it now since the weather is changing.
Mhm.
But those walks would really, relieve me from all type of ups and downs throughout the day. Worship and walks. I mean, it helps.
And walk. I like that. Worship and walk. Worship and walk. Um, Also, when you are dealing with anxiety, can
Hmm.
any of us, because there's some people dealing with anxiety. Y'all know I
Yeah.
can throw a scripture at everything.
Mhm.
Okay.
But before I throw a scripture,
Hmm.
how do you deal with anxieties? Let's start with you, Tessa. How do you deal with anxiety?
Woo. I can't even say I know how to deal with it because it comes when I'm going to say I was dealing with it bad before my month and a half off from Spotlight Radio Show
Hmm.
because every time I would book an artist or whoever I was booking that day before, and especially that day, I'm just going to go with that day. I think I was having panic attacks because I would get overwhelmed. I would have to lay down. I
Yeah,
was going through the motions and I mean, just going through everything. It was crazy. And I can't say taking that month off. And I was just like, I don't have to stress about this.
yeah,
You know, I can kind of let it go, but I did a lot to kind of it. I really didn't control. I wasn't able to control it because it just happened automatic, and I
hmm,
didn't even know. I wasn't even recognizing what was going on with me.
hmm,
You know, I just started it. It just happens on this day. This is the day that my body is need to go to the bathroom 100 times. You
yeah,
know, like why every Thursday, why every Wednesday. You know, this
right,
happens. I really didn't know how to control it, but I
yeah,
can't say after the month long break, I was like, you know, some things I just need to let go.
yeah,
Even like my first show back, I didn't know the lady's name or anything. I would have
hmm,
stressed out about it before that
yeah,
month break, but
yeah,
I got on, talked to her, and asked her her name, and she thought that I just couldn't pronounce it because she had a hard name. Ma'am, I didn't even know your name. I didn't
yeah,
even look, you know. So, but I just learned to kind of let things go and not to take everything so make sure all of the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. Just be natural. Just be
yeah.
myself. You know, if one of my
Oh,
eyelashes is off, it's off. Even like,
look,
I'm
wave
usually, yeah, I'm usually like picking my chin hairs, you
it.
know, plucking them and trying to make sure conceal. I was like, you know what, tonight I'm gonna be real. I'm going all in. I'm gonna put my little gold kind of change earrings color on
Yeah,
because these are my favorite, even though they lost color. I was like, I can't do it anymore. I just
can't
got to be
do it.
myself.
That's
Yeah.
right. And
And
that's
so I had to
crazy.
let a lot of that go.
That's crazy because before I got on the show, I was like,
Hmm.
"Oh, honey, I'm not doing makeup tonight. Okay, I'm gonna throw these little recycled lashes on,
That's all
and
I need.
look, head tie, boom." I said, "This
Yes.
is what it is, because this is me." And
Hmm.
because I do that too. But when I realized, because I used to be really bad with my anxiety, when I
Hmm.
realized when I'm walking in them, like you say, you don't know when they're coming, but you can. When I feel all of that, hurry up, you gotta
Hmm.
hurry up. When I feel myself doing that, that's when I stop, I breathe, and I just like you said, I say, first of all, if you worry about it, is it gonna change anything? No, it's not. You know,
Right.
can you control what's happening? No, you can't. So I need you to be in this moment right here. It's like a talk I have to have with
Yeah.
myself to
Yes.
calm that noise down, because it
Absolutely.
will have you like a basket case all over the place.
Hmm. Absolutely.
I thought Gloria was finna say, Gloria, you want to talk about anxieties?
Um, how I deal with my anxiety is I think about most of the time I get anxiety when I feel like I'm running late.
Hmm.
That's my biggest anxiety when I feel like I'm running late. So what I start doing is I start appreciating delayed. I start appreciating when I'm being delayed because I don't know what's happening
Mhm.
in the different. I don't know what's happening around me and why I'm being delayed.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and it seems as though whenever I'm being delayed or whenever I'm running late, I always miss the worst tragic accidents. I always see people get into the worst accidents when I'm finally able to leave the house. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I started to appreciate being delayed.
Yeah.
I guess I feel like I'm something. God is allowing me trying to avoid something. So
Yeah.
I just learned how to, like I'm saying, like I just when I'm doing something, when I'm getting ready, just to give me a peace of mind, I'm in worship all the time. Because it calms my spirit down when I'm thinking I
Yeah.
need to be in a rush to get here or I got to do this, I got to do that. Like, I just create an atmosphere where it gives me peace, a peace of
Ah,
mind. If
yeah.
I'm listening, if I'm doing, if I'm not, if I'm too much thinking about what I need to do, then I'm having this overwhelming feeling or I'm having all
Yeah.
these different things going through my mind. But when I create, I have to create an atmosphere. That's how
Yeah.
I overcome anxiety. I
Yeah.
create an atmosphere of peace, of worship,
Yeah.
just to
Mhm.
calm my spirit. And
Yeah.
once you get into the flow of doing that, things don't matter to you. Like whatever is going on, I get there when I get there. I show up. You gonna see me when you see me. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I develop, my habit of getting over anxiety.
And
Mhm.
another, you mentioned music. Another, changing the atmosphere. Um, with me, it's art, jazz. Jazz is good for me as well. You know, jazz, a little bit of Luther sometimes. Let's just be real about it. You know, but music is such a soothing. It depending on what music you're listening to.
Right.
It could be very very good for calming down anxieties. Hot tea, hot tea,
Mhm.
relax. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just need to get away from people. I
Yeah.
told one of my sisters, I said, get in the car and drive. She said, go where? Doesn't matter. Just drive. Stay
Get
on
a-
the freeway. you know, just get on the freeway and just drive. Why do you think the babies go to sleep in the car?
Because it's peaceful.
Mhm.
It's peaceful. You gotta find that place that
Yes.
people call it a prayer closet, or they call it their nest or wherever. You got to figure out what's your place. Like Tiffany, she dropped a comment. She said she started walking in the evenings at Tom Bass Park. That's
Mhm.
good. So you have to find out what works for you. You have to find out what works for you. All right. We're down to 15 minutes left in the show. I don't want to let this show go without Tessa sharing all of the information. She got to tell us where she at. What's coming first?
Yes.
What's your next interview? Do you have your next interview lined up? Tell us who's about to be on the show. What?
Yes. Okay,
What's
I
up?
have two interviews for this month. I have to deal with my the thing that goes on with me. Made only three interviews per month for the rest of this year. But I
Okay.
have an interview tomorrow night at 9 p.m. I go live on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. on Instagram at Spotlight Radio Show. You can pretty much search the hashtag Spotlight Radio Show. And also you can just search Don't Delay on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Shout out to my cousin because she's that typer, that good email writer. So she helps me a lot with Don't Delay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm on social media at Tessa_Allen. But I have an interview with a rap artist from Houston tomorrow night. And then next week I have the comedian Melanie Comaracho.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really excited about that. And it's also Breast Cancer Month. So on the 28th, I'm just going to talk about both of my grandmothers, how one kept her breast and one took her breast off,
Mm.
on the 28th. And that'll be Thursday night on October the 28th on
Okay.
Instagram Live.
Okay.
And I do have some I have a big announcement I'm going to make. And I've been holding it and holding it. And I was like, I don't know when the right time. I'm getting Spotlight Radio Show logo revamped. You can go to
Okay.
Spotlight Radio Show on spotlightradioshow.com to keep up with everything. But I am going to be back into the radio station come February. So, and I haven't announced it, but yeah. So I'm excited
Yeah.
about that.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sounds so good. It sounds so good.
Yeah, yeah.
I look, I want to be there for all of us. Look,
Yes,
technology has made it to where you can be there for anything that somebody is doing. So
absolutely.
people have no excuse anymore for not supporting people.
Yes.
But I do want to say this about don't delay. Do you have a way for people to donate? I need to
Okay.
email or some kind of way they can donate or what?
Oh, thank you. Yes, you can go to spotlightradioshow.com and you can go to my the email for Don't Delay. I just changed it. Oh my goodness gracious. And I probably can't find it at this exact moment. But I have I'm just looking on my phone. But you can go to Don't Delay on Instagram or Twitter and inbox, and I have that new email up like ASAP. We took the website down because we do so much like in person, even
Hmm.
though COVID is going on, we still get out and social distance. And I really like work with those people that have got in trouble,
Hmm.
and try to
Yeah.
help out. But I do have also on my website where people can just send a donation
Hmm.
on spotlightradioshow.com. You just have to go to the store section and scroll all the way down to the bottom.
So
Yeah.
it can be young ladies or young men, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Both.
and they can be troubled youth, uh, people on probation that
Yes,
need to
yes.
do community service.
Yeah, well, sometimes how people go and hey, can you sign this letter? And now
Yeah,
you got to come through. It has to be a legit organization. So
yeah.
we are that one. It's a nonprofit organization. We're legit. So, and I haven't like signed up with any other counties yet, but we are. I am um, registered with Montgomery County for any people to do community service, and they can come through. Don't delay. And
Awesome.
which really they'd be like, oh, this a class? Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a
So,
lot of youth that whose parents just want them to do community service, and
yes.
so you know, for those of you that are watching YouTube, we on Twitter right now, all that good stuff. If you're watching and you just want your child to be in some community service because
Mhm.
it's important,
Yes.
then you need to get
Absolutely.
in contact with her. I mean,
Yeah.
my daughters when we did when we were doing salvation after HIV when she was young, they were
Yeah.
working in the ministry. They were working in the organization. They were feeding people, everything. So
Yeah. One.
when she got ready to go to college, she already had community service hours. You know?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
One of my things, the first thing that we do is we write a letter, dear Jesus. They have to write a dear Jesus letter.
Oh,
That's the first thing. Yeah. So I love it.
yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for having me.
I'm so excited. You got to come back again. You got to
Absolutely.
come back again. I was sitting there and the Lord said, you need to invite her on the show. And then
Mhm.
after I invited you, the Lord gave me another name. I said, okay, okay, I feel it. So I'm
Yes.
excited. You're coming back.
Yes.
Okay. Especially if you
Absolutely.
got some announcements. If God downloads something that you want to share with the
Mhm.
ladies, you need to just send me a message. Say, I need to be back on, Queenie. I need to be back on. And guess
Yeah.
what? You'll be on the show.
Thank
Gonna be on the
you.
show. Because
Nice to meet
everybody,
you. Yes.
Glory, Glory, you all right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so nice to meet you, Gloria.
It's so nice to meet you too, girl.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
And please send me your
let's
information too, Gloria. I do want to follow you.
Oh yeah, you can follow me on. I have about 4 pages. I do sell hair, but
Okay.
wigs and eyelashes. So you can
Okay.
follow me on Instagram at Increase Bundles Lashes.
Okay.
Yep. And my Facebook page is Glory Janine Johnson, like JANEEN, and it's GLORY, Glory Janine Johnson. So I'm there, and I'm on Instagram too as At Beauty Made 23.
Beauty Made 23. Got you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, all right.
All
All
right.
right, Tessa. So give your closing remarks, Tessa.
Oh man, whatever you do it from the heart. Do it with love. Let God be your first thing you do in the mornings. And I thank you, ladies, so much for having me. Just don't delay. You have that feeling in your heart, your mind. Don't delay.
Don't
Don't do
delay. Glory, glory, closing remarks.
I just want to use that don't delay. Don't delay in getting into worship. It
it.
I
helps.
Yes.
It
know
helps.
Amen.
that's right. Listen, my final remarks are I love you all, but I gotta go. It's been
Yes.
real. She will be back. Tessa will be
Yes.
back. Remember
I
to
will.
go to Instagram. Remember to go to Twitter. Now, I talk to her a lot on Twitter. Go to
Yes. I
Twitter.
will.
Keep up. God is
Yes.
using these women to do some great and marvelous things, and you don't want to go to sleep. You want to be in the know. All right.
Yes.
We love you. We love y'all. Good night.
Bye.